Yo, what's good YouTube? GZTV here. Welcome back to another video, and in this video we are reaching the finale of Kendrick Week. We have had a long week of talking about Kendrick, reviewing one of his albums I haven't heard before. I hope you like the new setup. I have the little GZTV sign down here now. I have some string lights, and I still have that little projector thing over there. We might get my LEDs back up and running so you guys can kind of see. I want you guys to be able to see kind of what's like over here a little more, but I think it looks really, really cool. Now, obviously, it doesn't do a lot of justice considering I'm literally Gorilla Tape, man, the power of Gorilla Tape. I'm literally sitting like, or my face scan is literally taking up like a sixth of the screen. Pretty much, yeah, a sixth of the screen, maybe a quarter. I don't know. But we have this iceberg to talk about. That all that other stuff I said before was besides the point. We have a video at hand. We have the Kendrick Lamar iceberg. I don't remember what Reddit user I got this from. I could look it up on Google right now. Hold on. Let me visit the site here real quick. I did a Kendrick Lamar iceberg. Who did this? One complaint 2487. He posted this a month ago, so it's quite relevant. And it was a really, really good iceberg. I looked over and I was like, yeah, I really, really liked this iceberg. So let's just get into it. Now, there are 5 tiers. The first one's not even on the iceberg. Like, I feel like everyone that's heard the name of Kendrick Lamar before should know everything that is up there. Maybe not, but I think so. Down below is the tip of the iceberg. Below that is shallow waters. Below that is swimming levels. And below that is the depths of the iceberg. I know a lot of people have done these icebergs in the past. I'm not copying them. I just thought it'd be a good idea. Because A, you guys learn a lot about Kendrick Lamar. And B, I myself actually learn a lot about Kendrick Lamar doing these videos. Now, I don't know how long this video is going to be. My Kanye West one was damn near 40 minutes. This one might not be as long because Kendrick doesn't have a whole lot to unpack. His career is probably about 5 years shorter than Kanye's was, and a lot of stuff happened in those 5 years that Kendrick wasn't active and Kanye was. But let's get into it. Starting off, not even on the iceberg. The first thing we are going to talk about is Humble. This, Humble is a track off Kendrick Lamar's Damn, which unfortunately I don't have that CD with me. I was looking around right before this video started. I really wanted to show you guys that. I have plenty of his other music down here, though. I have 3 albums. I should have worn my Kung Fu Kenny shirt. I still have this golf shirt on from yesterday. Kind of a dirty fuck. I will shower eventually, guys. Don't worry, I shower. Humble is one of his most popular songs ever. There's a music video for it that includes Kendrick dressed in a robe, a depiction of the Last Supper, and his head being on fire. A lot of controversial images and cool visuals on here as well. This track is ironically his most braggadocious, being on fire, this track is ironically his most braggadocious track to date, considering it's called Humble and he's very braggadocious on it. It was produced by Mike Will. The song seemed to be inspired by the movie Friday and Debo's theme song from the movie. Next, To Pimp a Butterfly. I have that CD right here for you guys. To Pimp a Butterfly. This is awesome. To Pimp a Butterfly is Kendrick's second studio album. The album earned 9 Grammy nominations and is one of the greatest hip-hop albums ever. This album is very jazzy, soulful, groovy. Thundercat was a big instrumentalist on this project. The album was inspired by his trips to South Africa. The album discusses self-love, hate, depression, violence, race, politics, and more. It's a very poetic album. We will talk about the poetry that is present in the album later. Compton. Kendrick Lamar is from Compton and loves the city so much, him and fellow native and rap legend Dr. Dre made a song about it titled Compton off of his Good Kid, Mad City album. Right here. Good Kid, Mad City. I have the original. I don't have the deluxe. Sorry about the ring light bouncing off of shit. I should have worn my sunglasses because he's been seen in public wearing sunglasses in the past. I thought that would have been fitting, but it's fine. Top Dog Entertainment is the label Kendrick is signed to. This upcoming album will be the last one with the label. The label was founded in 2004 by Anthony Tiffith. His nickname is Top Dog, which is why he called the label Top Dog Entertainment. Sorry, I'm going to hold this paper down here. yeah, the label includes other artists such as J-Rock, Absol, Schoolboy Q, Isaiah Rashad, SZA, Reason, Zakari, and more. Most of those guys you guys should be somewhat familiar with. Those are guys that are on the Top Dog Entertainment label. Kendrick was the artist Anthony built it off of, and the story of how Anthony really met Kendrick was kind of crazy because it built off of a lot of chain events, which again, we will talk about later in the video. Good Kid, Mad City is Kendrick's debut studio album released in October 2012. This was a concept album that depicts a day in the life of a kid from Compton. Kendrick in particular, of course. He experiences many adventures in his mom's caravan throughout the album. The album included some of his most popular songs such as Swimming Pools and Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. It's a really good album. If you're a West Coast guy and you like the gangsta rap, this is like Kendrick's best like gangsta rap album. It is fantastic. Super Bowl. Kendrick performed at the Super Bowl this year alongside rap legends Eminem, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg, and obviously legendary artist, vocalist Mary J. Blige, with a surprise appearance from 50 Cent. This was legendary for hip-hop as it was the only truly hip-hop Super Bowl show ever. You know, obviously we had hip-hop guys in the past, but they were, of course, headlined with pop artists and stuff. Super Bowl has a knack for that type of thing. All Right is a track, again, to Pimp a Butterfly. A lot of people should know about the track All Right. It provides hope among chaos. Kendrick puts his trust in God to escape the troubles he's been battling. The song takes note of police brutality and racial inequality. This song seeks optimism through systematic struggle, or systemic, whatever. The song became very relevant during the summer of 2015 when the protests of the Black Lives Matter movement really took place, and obviously also 2020 during the pandemic. 2020 it happened as well. This is a big song. It's seen as a black national anthem of sorts, and I respect it. I love this song so much. It's very hopeful when you're down and out. Listen to the song, it makes you feel so much better. Not just about racial inequality. I think it's just about finding hope in everything. Finding hope in the down and dump parts of your life, if you know what I mean. Let's see here. He performed this at the BET Awards. Very controversial performance. Fox News had a lot to say about this record. Kendrick extended the video after this and responded via a TMZ interview. This song also won 2 Grammys, which I don't think any other song of Kendrick has won him multiple Grammys. I could be wrong. I'm not sure though. And we will talk about Fox News later on in this video. Again, a lot of stuff ties together here. The 5-year hiatus. Kendrick Lamar took a 5-year hiatus between Damn and his upcoming album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, which is coming out tomorrow night. I will be reacting to it. I couldn't be more excited, guys. People questioned people were questioning if he wanted to make music ever again, or if he will even ever appear in public again. But here he is, and we have a new album. Don't ever question the man. Kendrick made an album called Black Panther. That's the next thing on this, Black Panther. Inspired by the Marvel movie in 2018, which was a very good movie and a lot of people liked it. It was one of the best Marvel movies of all time to a lot of people. 3 of the songs make appearance in the movie. The rest were just inspired by the movie. Kendrick and Anthony Tiffith executive produced the album. It's kind of a soundtrack. It's kind of just a compilation, whatever you want to call it. It was inspired by South African music, which was kind of the same with T-Pab. The collaborators include, oh my gosh, this is a lengthy list. SZA, 2 Chainz, Schoolboy Q, Khaled, Sway Lee, Vince Staples, Zakari, Absol, Anderson .Paak, James Blake, J-Rock, Future, Mozzie, Reason, Travis Scott, The Weeknd, and more. Oh my goodness, this album was action-packed. It was very entertaining as well. The album debuted number 1, selling 154,000 units. For a movie soundtrack and something inspired by a movie, that is incredible, and that's something only Kendrick was able to do, really. And we will talk about things that only Kendrick were able to do in the future as well here. Grammys, talking about the Grammys in general for Kendrick. Kendrick Lamar has been nominated for 39 and has won 14 Grammys. He's won more than a third of the Grammys he's been nominated for. That's a pretty good win percentage considering you only almost have Let's look at that percentage. Let's see what Kendrick's win percentage is for. It's kind of crazy. Like, hold on a second. 14 divided by 39. The man has a 36% win percentage at the Grammys, which is really good. He's also had many iconic and controversial performances at the award show. He's had good performances at the other shows as well. Baby Keem. Baby Keem is Kendrick Lamar's cousin and they have made three songs with each other off of Baby Keem's Melodic Blue. If you didn't know they were cousins already, they came together for 3 records, including a record that had an OG version that was extended to like 4.5 minutes rather than 2. It was Vent. That was a really good version they extended. I don't know why they didn't keep it. Maybe Kendrick is saving it for this new album. He's also had writing credits. Baby Keem has also had some writing credits on K-Dot's music as well as production credits. Baby Keem does a lot more for music than a lot of people give him credit for, and that's kind of what I wanted to point out there. Kendrick Lamar guest verses. Kendrick Lamar has had many great guest verses throughout his career. We will talk about one of them literally coming up next. Some of his best have come from tracks with Dr. Dre, Pusha T, Danny Brown, Baby Keem, Drake, Beyonce, A$AP Rocky, Big Sean, Schoolboy Q, and many, many more. He's worked with so many artists throughout his career. And yeah, we're not even on the iceberg yet. Like, I can't even wait to talk about some of the other stuff on this list. We have 4 more pages worth of stuff I wrote down. Next section. It seems like a school presentation. I'm telling you guys it's not. It's just for the love of Kendrick Lamar. I know you guys were commenting that on some of my other iceberg videos, but just wasn't the case. The tip of the iceberg is up next. Kendrick did a guest verse on the Big Sean song Control. Kendrick's verse was shocking as he dropped a lot of names. We're talking about the Control verse, as you can see, kind of, where would it be at? Right there. Control verse. I need to mention them before I get into them. I'm sorry. Yeah, he did the guest verse on Big Sean Control. His verse was dropping. He name dropped a lot of rappers and didn't spare anyone. He was very bold and aggressive. He inspired rappers to improve and even instigated a few diss tracks and beefs. It might be one of his best verses ever. It is so iconic. It is so controversial. It is just cold as hell if I had to give it a word. Kung Fu Kenny. Now, I have a shirt that says Kung Fu Kenny on it. I should have worn it, guys. It's kind of ripped up because I ironed a piece of paper on it and thought it would work. It's not gonna fucking work. I don't know what I was thinking. Honestly, I should just make shirts like that and put them on my wall or something. I don't know. I don't have too much space for stuff on my wall, as you can see in the background. But Kung Fu Kenny is an alias, nickname, and alter ego of Kendrick's that has appeared in his music. Some people think it originates from the Rush Hour 2 character. Great movie franchise, by the way. We will talk about a guy from the movie. We'll mention his name later in the video. Kung Fu Kenny is seen as his final form, like his mature MC version of himself. Untitled Unmastered is an album I don't have on record. I could get it, but I don't know. It's an album full of demos and throwaways from the album To Pimp a Butterfly once again. 3 of the tracks were performed before release. This was intentionally done for Kendrick to put a bunch of demos on a record. This album was released by LeBron James' request after tweeting at Anthony Tiffith. Anthony Tiffith got a tweet from LeBron one time saying, release the studio versions of the unfinished tracks on, what was it? It was from TPAB, right? Yes, TPAB. I said TPAB, sorry. Yeah. K-Dot is another alias of Kendrick's that represents his younger self preparing and maturing to become one of the best rappers ever. It was kind of his beginning phases of his career. It's like the Kendrick's version of Slim Shady. You know, Eminem had Slim Shady, then he had Marshall Mathers, then he just had Eminem. He kind of went through those same type of phases. He learned a lot of things from K-Dot. You know, people mentored him. This kind of represents like his 2005 to 2010 phase of Kendrick Lamar. And the rest is Kung Fu Kenny, of course. And now it's Oklahoma. So now it's changed to Oklahoma for this album and then going forward, I'm sure. The recording of the song Love Game, on the Eminem song Love Game off of Marshall Mathers LP2. I have that record. I should have brought it on here actually to show you guys. I could go get it real quick actually. but nah. It's off of Eminem's album MMLP2, which I actually have on CD. Eminem only allowed Kendrick in the studio while he was recording to make sure he didn't use ghostwriters. He had his friends with him. Kendrick had his friends with him. Eminem was questioning his writing process, his lyrical skill. So only Kendrick and the engineer were allowed in the studio at a time to make sure there weren't people writing his verses. Because obviously, if someone wrote his verse outside the studio, he wasn't going to come in and freestyle it. He wouldn't bring the paper in. Eminem was making sure he didn't have any paper on him. He just had to write the stuff in the studio with the engineer. Ed Sheeran and Rick Rubin have told this story before, because Ed Sheeran and Rick Rubin are obviously friends with Eminem, and they've collaborated with him, and they recounted this event of Kendrick, not being able to bring his friends or anything in the studio. Kendrick was the only rapper on Marshall Mathers LP2, so this turned out to be a pretty cool honor for Kendrick to be the only rapper on this. Very, very pop-influenced record. Damn in reverse. Kendrick Lamar even said it himself. Obviously, this was a rumor at first if you're a true Kendrick fan. Kendrick Lamar himself says, Damn was designed to be played backwards. Each ordering of the track, frontwards and backwards, present a different story. This was intentional. Kendrick Lamar was in the studio. They premeditated it to happen. Fans had to figure this out on their own, though, until Kendrick had to actually tell them after a lot of speculation. Backwards version, he said it has more of a full story. It has better rhythm and tempo. That's what he had to say about it. The story doesn't change. It just tells more of a story. The feel of the story, it feels different. Front to back is more aggressive. Backwards contrasts this aggression. The Heart Part 4. The Heart Part 5 dropped earlier this week. Let's talk about the Heart Part 4. You might as well. It was a lead-up track to Damn. There were 4 beat changes. Kendrick challenges other rappers and describes the life of an industry rapper on here. He revealed the pre-order date of Damn on the song. It was whatever the date it was, you all better get your shit together or something like that. He was teasing the pre-order date, it turned out. It was his first song of 2017. 3 tracks off of Damn were inspired by this song. This song really played a role into that album, Damn, and I'm pretty sure the Heart Part 5 is going to play a humongous role as well on his new record. Introvert. When Kendrick isn't in album mode, he's looked at as an introvert. He likes to be alone. He likes to collect his thoughts. He can also step out of his comfort zone when needed, but he needs alone time. That's kind of what being introvert means. Pulitzer Prize. Kendrick Lamar won the Pulitzer Prize in 2018 in music for his album Damn. The album is seen as a very perspective album, rhythmic, authentic, fluent, unified, dynamic, and understanding by many people, especially the experts over at the Pulitzer Prize group, whatever that academy's called. Columbia University President Lee Bollinger presented him with the award. The storytelling is determinate. It's very good storytelling, skillful. He's very articulate on this album. This earned Kendrick great respect after winning the Pulitzer Prize. Not just in the hip hop industry, but nationwide, people were respecting this guy for this. I think we're talking about the poem on TPAB. TPAB poem. Sorry, I just ear raped you guys. TPAB. On his album TPAB, Kendrick, throughout the album, pieces together a poem. In the poem, he talks about the conflicted and badly influenced people of America and finds sympathy in them. He resents the abuse of his power as a rich black man, because obviously rich black people have a lot of power because in this country wasn't designed to have rich black people. That's just how it was. That's how it is. I'm not for that at all. I'm just making it clear. That's why he says stuff like that. He discusses depression, anger, self-destruction, evil, confusion, being confused about things, home, survival, self-confliction, war, foundation, and discrimination in the poem. You can find it online. You can just look up the poem and read it one by one, or you can listen to all of TPAB if you want, because it has the poem fully pieced together on that. Anthony Fantano, aka Needle Drop, is a YouTuber who reviews wide ranges of music. We're talking about Anthony Fantano's reviews of his albums. He has reviewed every Kendrick album pretty much except for Overly Dedicated. TPAB was one of his 5 perfect albums ever, which is insane. Good Kid, Mad City. got a 9. T-Pab was perfect. Damn got a 7. Which, okay, a lot of people were kind of controversial about that. Section 80 got an 8. Untitled got an 8. Black Panther got a 6 because it's a soundtrack. Obviously, he's not going to take it that serious. Kendrick is overall an 8 out of 10 artist to Fantano. Like, if you average it out, it comes out to be 8. Kendrick Lamar being an actor in Power. Kendrick Lamar portrays a homeless drug addict on a season 5 episode of the show Power. His name was Laces, and he assisted 50 Cent, the executive producer, the character of 50 Cent that 50 Cent played. People loved his acting skills, but most of the media was silenced on this matter. 50 Cent didn't want people talking about it. So yeah, that's kind of how that went. Moving on, though, we have the next layer of the iceberg. We are in the shallow waters. We are just getting down to the shallow waters. Overly Dedicated is Kendrick Lamar's 5th mixtape. It came out September 2010. The cover features deceased musicians, mostly from drug overdoses, artists like Michael Jackson, Pimp C, Old Dirty Bastard from Wu-Tang Clan, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, many more. And I actually reviewed this album 2 days ago on my channel, so if you want to, go check it out. I gotta make this video kind of quicker than this, but yeah. At the 2014 Grammys, Kendrick lost 7 Grammys. The biggest one was for Album of the Year, which he lost to Macklemore. Macklemore admittedly texted him after this. This was talking about the 2014 Grammy snub controversy. Texted him about this after the event. Kendrick wasn't upset about it, as Good Kid, Mad City, which was the album that lost this Grammy. This was not the 2014 Album of the Year, by the way, Rap Album of the Year, by the way, if you guys didn't know. He believed Good Kid, Mad City wasn't his best work. To Pimp a Butterfly, he felt made a bigger connection and was the better project. I couldn't agree more. I really like this record. Kendrick's Damn, or we're talking about original album names, my fault. Kendrick's album Damn was originally titled What Happens on Earth Stays on Earth because of what Kid Capri was saying on a bunch of his track at the beginning of them. To Pimp a Butterfly, right here. Sorry, I keep bringing it up. To Pimp a Butterfly was originally titled, I think it was, what was it? It was To Pimp a Caterpillar, which abbreviated to Tupac because you spelled 2, T-U. That was really cool. Def Jam. Let's talk about Def Jam next. Kendrick Lamar is partnered with Def Jam as part of a deal with PG Lang, which we will discuss later. We will talk about PG Lang later. Also, before Top Dog Entertainment, he was signed to Def Jam. At the time, Kendrick Lamar was 17 years old. Jay-Z was the president in 2004, and he was 17 at the time. 9 years later, Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z manifested it. They worked on a song together. Let's see here. Religion. On Damn, Kendrick got deep into his religion, which he is seen as a heavily burdened Christian on this album. His religious music is very different from people like Chance the Rapper. He talks about a lot of dark stuff with religion, which I like because he's kind of going in a different lane from these other artists. He was baptized by his friend's grandma, so he is a Christian. He is a very radical Christian and takes religion to the extreme in his music for sure. Next, we are going to talk about PG Lang after we just talked about Def Jam. In 2020, Kendrick and Dave Free, former high school friends, co-founded PG Lang, and Dave Free has been on Kendrick's music in the past as well, a media company that came about, 2 years ago. They house a record label, a production crew, and a publishing crew. This was created to give Kendrick a reason to depart from TDE after his album, pretty much. Let's not sugarcoat it. It was launched in March of that year. Their multilingual medias include music, film, art, books, and podcast. Baby Keem is a big endorser of the record label, or company, whatever you want to call it, as well as Brent Faiyaz through their Calvin Klein collab in January 2021. They also collabed with Converse earlier this month. Baby Keem released the Melodic Blue under this record label, by the way. Obviously, he is also independent, but he released it in partnership with PG Lang. Let's see. Cut Kendrick features on Kanye songs. Kanye and Kendrick have 2 unreleased songs together. Kendrick was also cut off of the Life of Pablo's cut Father Stretch My Hands Part 1. Kanye said once he has over 40 songs with Kendrick. Kendrick was also supposed to be on the song All Day, which was supposed to be a single off of a Kanye album that got scrapped. Go watch my Kanye West Iceberg as well. I think I went really in depth with that stuff. Keisha's song. Kendrick recorded Keisha's song for his sister. He did this to keep her away from prostitution. Women who resort to prostitution go through a lot of pain, he says. The song shows true pain through survival. He explains to his sister why women do things like prostitution. He is in no way villainizing prostitutes, on this record, Keisha's song. He knows they're women too, and what they do is damaging, however, to their lives and other people's lives. The song was originally for the album Good Kid, Mad City. Sing About Me was inspired by this song off of Good Kid, Mad City. We should all know about the Under the Sun vocals. I don't know why it's so far down the list. On the Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers, I think 3 was cut Under the Sun. Kendrick makes an uncredited surprise appearance providing vocals on the chorus. J. Cole and Kendrick have collabed for pretty much their whole career, so it made sense why he was there as a hidden feature, and we'll talk about J. Cole and Kendrick a little later. On Damn's DNA, we're talking about the Fox News sample on DNA. The second verse samples a segment from Fox News criticizing Kendrick's views on police brutality. Blood was inspired by this as well, another track off the record. Fox News responded to his BET performance of the song All Right, which is what we talked about earlier. So yeah, that is the Shallow Waters. We have 2 more tiers to talk about, and then we are done with the video. I can really only take like 6 minutes per tier because we kind of got to get going. I think my sister needs to be picked up from her friend's house. Sorry about my phone. We're getting into the swimming. We're getting close to the depths. We're swimming at this point. First, we're going to talk about Kendrick and the J. Cole collab album. Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole were rumored to be dropping a collab album together until in May 2018, J. Cole said it's never happening. However, in June 2021, Top Dog Entertainment asked fans to name a desired collab album between a Top Dog Entertainment and a non-Top Dog Entertainment artist. Cole and Kendrick were the clear no-brainers. Among others were Freddie Gibbs and J-Rock, which I would love, Schoolboy Q and Rocky, SZA and Bryson Tiller, and more. This started even further in 2010. This started even further back. This went as far back as 2010. J. Cole said in an interview that he wanted to do an album with Kendrick, and they had some stuff in the works. Up next, the Loyalty lawsuit. In August 2020, it was reported that Kendrick was facing copyright infringement for the damn cut Loyalty. Terrace Martin defended a filed complaint by Terrence Hayes. Terrace Martin, shout out to him. He was a big collaborator. The allegations came from his 2017 song. 2011 song from Terrence Hayes, Loyalty. People who worked with Kendrick turned on him pretty much. Hayes sought all revenue from the track. Kendrick lost the battle and was sued. Lots of hip-hop artists were getting sued for copying other artists at this exact time, really. It was kind of coincidental, such as Travis Scott and Juice WRLD being faced with lawsuits for copying old artists. I feel like old heads just assume that new artists don't have any creativity. C4. C4 is a Kendrick mixtape from his K-Dot days, again, his early immature days. It was hosted by DJ Ill Will and pays homage to Lil Wayne's The Carter 3. He rapped over all of the Carter 3 instrumentals, I'm pretty sure, adding his own addition to the series pretty much by calling it C4, which means Carter 4, if you guys didn't know. Big Sean diss. Kendrick dissed Sean in an old song snippet that began circulating on the internet in April 2019. It was an 11-second snippet that included Kendrick name-dropping a Big Sean mixtape and talking shit. K-Dot also dissed Sean on his own song, Control, in 2013, which we talked about earlier. Sean was one of those names that Kendrick name-dropped, by the way. There were a lot of subliminals in the years that followed. They were just kind of picking at each other on their records. Yeah. Connected discography. The only thing I found about this was one of the ones that I had no idea what they were referring to. Kendrick's albums get deeper over time as he is living with his thoughts more. That's kind of how they're connected. He just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and hopefully that remains consistent with the album Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Hopefully we get a lot of deep stuff from Kendrick there. But yeah, he matured throughout his discography as well. Whether that was unintentional or natural, or intentional or natural. I don't know if he intended to just keep getting deeper and deeper, if he kind of like mapped his career route and kind of just wanted to get deeper as it went. But yeah, let's see what else. 6 albums worth of unreleased music, I think, is what we're talking about next. In November 2020, it was reported that according to his engineer Ali, he has referred to him in past music. He's talked about Ali before. The rapper's hiatus consisted of the creation of 6 albums worth of unreleased music, so I think we're getting a lot of Kendrick music in the future. They were made to a high standard, too, as he discussed on Kevin Durant's podcast, The Etcetras, which Kyrie was on recently. I thought that was pretty nice. Since 2012, Ali has been his engineer. Again, Kendrick scrapped a lot of this music to kind of seek perfection. A lot of these 6 unreleased albums got scrapped in the process. White fan N-word controversy. In May 2018, Kendrick stopped a white fan from saying the N-word. They already said it, but he prevented them from saying it anymore at a concert. It was a white woman and she was booed. He was performing Mad City in Alabama at his Hangout Festival set. Kendrick forgave Delaney, the name of the girl, I think. She wasn't giving her last name out to Kendrick or his fans or whatever, obviously for her own safety, after apologizing to saying it. And Kendrick gave her another shot at it. The audience did not like it at all. I'm sure you can find videos somewhere on the internet, but yeah, that's kind of what went down. Let's see, the bleeped out name on Mad City off of Good Kid, Mad City. Oh wow, okay, this is big time here. This was really interesting. On Good Kid, Mad City song Mad City, one of his most popular songs ever, there is a line that says, at the same burger stand where Beep hang out. When he's live, he says homies. However, he did this as to not snitch on someone he thinks murdered someone. I believe either his uncle or a random person, or maybe it was one of the murders he witnessed as a child, which we will talk about later in the video, at a burger stand. He says these stories are too serious to slander a real one. He saw the murder as a kid, yeah, and now that he's grown, he doesn't want to snitch. He even said this isn't a tape recorder saying that he did it. Like, Kendrick was basically saying, I'm not saying he actually did it, but I'm saying, yeah. I didn't say I actually murdered someone, but he actually murdered someone, but yeah. That's it. That's it for the swimming. We are now getting into the depths of the iceberg. This is the final tier of the iceberg. The final section of the iceberg, I should say. Sorry. And yeah. Bitch, I'm in the club. I thought this was a reference to 50 Cent at first, but it wasn't. Bitch, I'm in the Club is the 5th song on C4, and Kendrick says it's one of the wackest songs he's ever made. We talked about C4 earlier. C4 was Wayne influenced, and this track was definitely influenced by the club anthems like Lollipop off of Lil Wayne's albums. You guys know the song Lollipop by Lil Wayne. This was very much influenced by that. Gang connections. Kendrick Lamar grew up around gang members, his friends being Westside Pyru Bloods, and his dad was a GD, a gangster disciple. If you never knew what GD meant, there you go. He never joined a gang, but is considered a Blood. That's what they considered Kendrick in the hood. His uncle threw up a gang sign on one of his album covers, which is Good Kid, Mad City. You can't really see it, but like, right here, his uncle's like throwing up a gang sign. So, yeah. That's how people kind of knew he was affiliated with something. That album in particular represented him getting out of that life. You know, Good Kid, Mad City represented him kind of getting out of the gang life and surviving. You, Real Story. You is Kendrick's most emotional song, and it's a T-Pab cut. Go listen to it. It is kind of like... It's kind of like Eminem's Kim. I don't know. That's kind of how I look at it, but it's a way better song than Kim, obviously. The story is that he was touring for Good Kid, Mad City. Sorry, boom, Good Kid, Mad City. Meanwhile, back in Compton, at just 13 years old, his sister Kayla Duckworth had a baby. She was pregnant with a baby at 13. That's only 8 years older than the youngest pregnancy. Also, 3 of his childhood friends died that summer of the tour. Kendrick went from touring to a funeral, then to a fashion show in just a few days. Kendrick felt survivor's guilt, and what came out of that was You. As a whole, the album To Pimp a Butterfly came out of deep depression, but You was inspired to those particular events. He feels he left Compton behind and resorts to alcohol on the song You, of course. What else? His first mixtape, Youngest Head, Beep and Charge, Hub City Threat, Minor of the Year, is Kendrick Lamar's first mixtape released under K-Dot. He was with Concrete Jungle Music at the time. It was 2004 or 2005. I don't remember what year it was when the tape came out. He then re-released it on the internet in 2013. Joe Budden was on the tape. It spanned 11 tracks. Dr. Dre, Just Blaze, the Neptunes, and Manny Fresh were producers on it, so that's a damn good start. Holy shit. Let's see here. He was at the set of the California Love video. California Love, a massive Tupac hit in 1995, while Under Death Row had a video shoot in Kendrick's neighborhood in Compton. He was 7 at the time. They were 2 blocks away from his house, which is kind of crazy. He got to see Dr. Dre and Pac through a huge crowd. It was November 1995 that this happened. Compton is home to NWA, so it was appropriate for Dr. Dre to be there and bring Tupac along. Chris Tucker, comedian off of Rush Hour, and Suge Knight were there as well. Kendrick was inspired to become a rapper mostly because of that. That was like one of his first inspirations of rap as a kid, which is really cool. Let's see. The founder of TDE almost killed. On Damn Cut Duckworth, one of my favorite Kung Fu Kenny songs, by the way. I love this Kendrick song. Kendrick retells the life of TDE founder Anthony Tiffith. Tiff was the oldest of 7 children. He had problems with the law at a young age. He beat a murder case, bought a Mustang. The cops put a target on his back, pretty much. Anthony tried to lose the cops and ended up at a KFC. Anthony met a gangster named Ducky, who turned out, plot twist, to be Kendrick Lamar's dad. This is kind of how Kendrick got into with TDE almost. It is ridiculous. He has one of the craziest stories ever. Anthony robbed the KFC the year before. Ducky tried to become friends with Anthony, giving him free food, avoiding trouble in the process. As Anthony robbed the KFC again, and Ducky, let's see here. Ducky almost killed him, I think. Anthony would later sign Ducky's son to his record label. Crazy how life works. It was definitely a full circle moment in Kendrick's life when he kind of figured out the story of how Anthony Tiffith almost died to the cops, I think. It's kind of a weird story. It's kind of confusing. Look it up, though. It's kind of crazy that Kendrick Lamar's dad and his future label co-founder, ran into each other in like a life or death situation. It's kind of crazy. Just listen to that song. Witnessed his first murder at 5. Kendrick witnessed a murder outside of an apartment complex at just 5 years old. A guy was serving narcotics. Obviously, that's normal in Compton, serving drugs. And someone pulled up with a shotgun and shot him right in the chest, and Kendrick witnessed it all. It obviously messed Kendrick up at first, but he knew he had to get used to it, as it would eventually affect his loved ones later on in his life, which we talked about earlier with his childhood friends getting shot down. It's terrible. Kendrick's father in the 90s. Before moving to Compton to birth Kendrick, his father, Kenny Duckworth, Ducky, ran with a South Side Street gang, the GDs, the Gangster Disciples, led by the legend Larry Hoover. Hoover was renowned in hip-hop for so long for his run with the GDs. for years and years. He's currently facing 6 life sentences. Look up Larry Hoover. A lot of hip-hop artists like Kanye West have paid homage to the guy and tried to do benefits. Drake, they did a benefit concert. He's very important. Kendrick's father was trying to maneuver through the hood through all of this street violence and stuff like that. I mean, that's all he learned growing up in the Robert Taylor Homes projects. A very impoverished, violent part of Southside Chicago. There was hardly any employment where Kendrick's father grew up, and kids would get hit by things thrown off the roofs in the 70s by gangsters trying to target their rivals and mistakenly hitting kids in the head with things. Probably big old rocks. Like, it's terrible. Kendrick's mother wasn't putting up with this lifestyle as they moved to California with $500 and 2 garbage bags full of luggage. So that's kind of the story of Kendrick's father in the 90s, and that overall does it for our Iceberg Explained video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It was longer than my Kanye video. I really went into depth with this one. I did a lot of research to make this video happen. If you guys want to see tier list in the future, when Travis Scott gets close to releasing his album, I will do a tier list on Travis. When Eminem gets close to releasing an album, I will probably do one of his as well. Although I think I had an Eminem Iceberg in the process, but I never released it because obviously Eminem wasn't releasing any albums anytime soon. But that's gonna do it, guys. Have a good rest of your day. I don't have anything else to say. I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of my day, watch my Celtics. Hopefully not get too stressed about it. And yeah, Kendrick Lamar, Iceberg Explained. There you go. Peace. Hopefully it's one of your favorite